Our next question was sent in via Twitter using the hashtag CornyDriveThru from Hi, my name is John O, excuse me. How do you and Jim, well, I'll just go with you. How does Jim feel about the Bella twins?
Wait a minute now, you're just slipping this question completely? You were included in this.
People want to hear what you have to say about this.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about the Bella twins in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Pete Rose and Drew Carey are in the fucking WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, we've passed the point. If it's a wrestling Hall of Fame, it's fucking ludicrous, especially before every other wrestler that's ever worn tights before 10 years ago is in a Hall of Fame. But it's a WWE Hall of Fame, so it's expected. They have their, quota of, we're going to do a woman, we're going to do a tag team, we're going to do a couple of headliners, we're going to do a minority, we're going to do a dead person, we're going to do a celebrity. And they usually tick most of those boxes, and the Bellas are all over television and etc. But as a wrestling Hall of Fame, no, it's ridiculous. But as a wrestling Hall of Fame, it's ridiculous. And fucking Pete Rose and Donald fucking Trump are in it. So it's that's why I say, they do a great production. They put on a great show, and a lot of the guys, it means a lot to them. But it's not even a real worked Hall of Fame, a real worked wrestling Hall of Fame. It's not even that. It's just a worked Hall of Fame for anybody that's had anything to do with the WWF, WWE, or was an old wrestling superstar that somebody currently in the office that can pitch something to Vince was a fan of. There's no rhyme or reason to this. So you can't take it seriously as that and get mad that the Bella twins are going in. When fucking Vince Sr.'s chauffeur was in the inaugural class, James Dudley.
As a follow-up, because another question about the Bellas going in came into the CornyDriveThru@gmail.com address from Brandon in Winchester, Kentucky. His follow-up was, in your career, did you ever encounter women that were only employed because they were dating or married to a wrestler?
Yes, everyone before 1995. I don't know what else to say. That's the only. I mean, unless it was some of Moolah's girls or the independent girls that were actually wrestling, in which case, and sometimes that was still the case. But that's the way that they got in the business. There was no other way to get in the business besides having someone experienced train you, and most guys weren't training girls. That was why Moolah had the corner on the market, except for a few places, Core Combs, whatever. And otherwise, those girls were booked in different territories for a week or two at a time as attractions. There was no regular females on the card unless they were managers / valets, in which case the way they got in the business was the guy they were with said, hey, I got an idea for a gimmick. I can use my wife as my valet or the manager. Or, there was Ma Bass, who managed Ron and Don Bass, was the old timer Mae Weston. And so she was already with the fucking business to begin with. And she got tremendous heat for doing those promos and, hitting fucking baby faces with her purse with the brick in it. But as far as there were no regular women on the shows in most territories until the 80s when, especially World Class, Sunshine and Precious, and got the valet thing going. And they found Stella Mae French. Remember when God, which girl was on which side now? Sunshine was a baby face.
Yes.
And Precious, and who else was on her side?
Precious and Jimmy Garvin.
But okay, and
no, after it was when Sunshine had to take a sabbatical. It was when Stella Mae showed up, I believe.
That's right, Stella, because they brought Stella Mae in as Sunshine's truck driving aunt, and
oh, those promos!
It was classic. But here's the fucking kicker. And I wish do you remember what her name was? She was not an old time like back in the 40s, but she had previously in the 60s and 70s been a lady wrestler in the business. What was her name? God damn it.
I don't know.
I can't remember now. And I feel so bad because I'm going to tell you, when I moved to Dallas, I lived in Irving, and I went to the dry cleaners, take my suits in. The first time I'd moved to the new apartment, went to the dry cleaner down the street, and this woman said, "Hey, Jim, how are you?" I said, "Well, hey, I'm on TV." So I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" She said, "I'm Stella Mae French." I said, "What the And then she introduced herself as she was working at the dry cleaners then. She lived in Dallas, and they happened to need somebody. They came up with the idea for the Stella Mae gimmick and brought her in because she was smart to the business and could work. But then after that was over with, she was back working at the dry cleaner. I can't remember what her name was when she was one of Moolah's girls.
Tanya West?
There you go. I believe it was. Yes. But anyway, and she was a fairly top name in the 70s. When Moolah would take 4 girls and she'd be one of them, Tanya West worked with them a lot. But anyway, but yes, there were until the 80s valets, there were no regular women performers on the shows in pretty much any territory. And so if you got in, there was no way to, just like it was hard for the guys to get in and get smartened up. So at least with the wife or the girlfriend or whatever, they were already kind of smart to the business, and you had a built-in gimmick. And then, whether they got paid or not, sometimes it might be part of the package, especially if they were just starting out. But if it got over, you made more money.
I just found a video on YouTube by an old friend of the show, Garen Shea, and it's entitled "Stella Mae French Makes Her Charming Ladylike Debut." Can I play a few seconds of this audio?
Yes, yeah.
I haven't tested this beforehand, but I'm assuming it's wonderful.
Over everybody else.
Hey, wait, I can talk to myself. Hey, shut your damn mouth, you huh?
Hey, you can't talk this way. This is television.
Don't tell me what the I can't say and what I can say. Now I want to talk to these people. I want to know who the Jim Garvin thinks he is. And that little... Don't tell me. Take it easy. Now, last Saturday night, in San Antonio, they hurt Val very bad.
Who's Valerie?
Who's Val? No, she's not sunshine. She's not sunshine at all. Her name is Val. Now, I raised Val since she was 3 years old. I told my sister I'd do a good job, and I did it till that stupid...
Take it easy.
Don't tell me! Take it easy! Can Garvin... Hey, what? What for?
You can say what you got to say, but let him have the mic. Not sure I want it.
All right. Can Garvin hear me?
Yes.
He can hear me, he can see me.
Yes, that's right.
Garvin, your is mine. Okay? I'm going to get it. If it takes a truck, if it takes a 2x4, buddy, I'm going to wipe you all the way back to Florida. Leave me alone.
Well, there's a sample of Stella Mae French's debut. Mark Loretz was horrified here.
Oh, my God. But yeah, and people like, holy shit, Sunshine's truck driving aunt has come to kick Garvin's ass, and that Precious is going to watch out. And then whatever, obviously they didn't book matches between Stella Mae French and Jimmy Garvin, but she was in the corner when the guy fought Garvin, and she got a hold of Precious, and a large amount of money was made by everyone.